After we broke up, my ex posted that I was infertile, and a 3-second wonder. I wasn't about to back down either. I told everyone at school her chest was too small, and her feet reeked. After that, we blocked each other. We planned never to meet again. But a year later, after graduation, we ran into each other again, and by some strange twist of fate, rented the same place. After graduation, I wanted somewhere cheap and close to work. But after searching forever, I only found a shared apartment. The landlord said the other tenant was a woman. The place was spacious, so we could stay out of each other's way. Fresh out of college, my left pocket was empty. So was my right. I didn't have another cent to spare. After thinking it over, I took it. Even if my roommate had 3 heads and 6 arms, or was an 8-tentacled monster, I would have rented it. But once I walked in, I realized I'd underestimated the situation. This woman was far scarier than any 8-tentacled monster. To my shock, she was Song Yaozhi, the ex-girlfriend I'd broken up with a year ago. Even then, I refused to believe it. No way a coincidence like this could happen. She stared me down. The living room fell deathly silent. The next second, we cautiously called each other's names. Song Yaozhi, Ji Yanli. The room was silent for 3 seconds. Then we both cried out at once. What are you doing here? I quietly backed out at once and shut the door. I checked the apartment number again, then looked at the key in my hand. I opened the door again, thinking I must have come in the wrong way. This time, I stepped in with my left foot first, but Song Yaozhi's cold, pretty face was still there. I felt like I was dreaming. Still, I cautiously said, "You look like my ex-girlfriend." Song Yaozhi frowned. She stood and shouted at me, "I am your ex-girlfriend. Don't pretend you don't know me. I'd recognize you even if you turned to ashes." I shook my head and waved my hands. "Impossible. Weren't you supposed to go to Jia City?" Song Yaozhi said nothing. She thought I was going to Jia City, so she hadn't gone there. But she absolutely couldn't admit that now. It would seem like she deliberately avoided me. So she snorted and demanded, "Then why are you here? Weren't you supposed to go to Jia City too?" I wanted to say I'd been trying to avoid her too, but saying that would make it seem like I still cared about the breakup. So I said, "I lied to you before. I never wanted to go there. I wanted to come here." Song Yaozhi narrowed her eyes. "So someone started lying while we were dating. What a great guy." Her voice dripped with sarcasm. But I was used to it. Nothing could get to me. I am a great guy. A great guy like me is hard to find. I dragged my suitcase inside. Song Yaozhi froze, then asked, "What are you coming in for?" I shut the door and replied, "I live here. I just signed the lease. 3 months. Song Yaozhi went still. After saying it, I realized it too. We were both thinking the same thing. That meant we'd be living together. We both sucked in a sharp breath. I slapped my forehead, completely stunned. Song Yaozhi screamed inwardly, "What is happening? I actually have to live under the same roof as that damn man." She immediately pointed at the door. "Why did you rent this place? Get out. Rent somewhere else." I rolled my eyes. "Why should I? Rent here is 1,200 yuan a month. Only an idiot would pass that up. Give me the money, and I'll rent somewhere else." But where would Song Yaozhi get the money? She was broke too. When we were dating, we spent plenty buying things for each other. Whenever I gave her a gift, she'd feel embarrassed. Then she'd buy me something in return. In the end, we both went broke. The stores made a killing. We were such idiots in love. Now she only had 1,500 yuan left. She was poorer than she'd been in college, and that 1,500 had to last until next payday. She snorted, "You want me to give you money? How dare you?" I shrugged. "If not, I'm staying here." Then I dragged my things into the empty room on the right. As I passed, I glanced into Song Yaozhi's room. Her suitcase lay open on the floor. Her things were a complete mess. Pink, white, and all kinds of underthings covered the bed. I cursed inwardly. Could you clean up properly? But then I thought better of it. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. Some things were no longer mine to say. Song Yaozhi sat back down on the couch, hiding her face behind a cushion. "Of all the places you could live, you had to come here." After I unpacked my room, I had just reached the living room. When I saw Song Yaozhi sulking, I glanced again at her tightly shut bedroom door. Apparently, she had realized something. I looked at Song Yaozhi and asked, "Hey, roommate, I'm going to eat. Are you coming?" Song Yaozhi shot me an angry look, her pretty face tense. "Who wants to eat with you?" I shrugged and turned to leave. But Song Yaozhi really was hungry. She couldn't help calling after me, "Hey, roommate, I'm coming too." At a small restaurant outside, neither of us spoke. The atmosphere was painfully awkward. Song Yaozhi watched me use my phone, then took out hers. The moment she unlocked it, she remembered. Her wallpaper was a photo of us together. It was from our first hug. She had deleted so much, but she couldn't bring herself to delete that photo. She had thought she'd never see me again, so keeping it seemed harmless. Who could have guessed I'd be sitting right in front of her? Her face instantly turned red. Smack! She slammed her phone face down on the table. It startled me. She used to do that whenever she was angry while we dated. So I instinctively asked timidly, "No, I didn't do anything to you." But once I said it, I caught myself. What was I scared of? I wasn't her boyfriend anymore. I straightened back up. Song Yaozhi merely tucked her hair behind her ear and said coldly. My hand slipped. Mind your own business. I didn't argue with her further. I lowered my head and returned to my phone. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Song Yaozhi wearing sneakers. Her slender calves were snow white. Hadn't I bought those sneakers for her? She'd actually kept them. Meanwhile, Song Yaozhi occasionally looked up, pretending to glance at me casually. He looks just like before, but more built than before. Has he been working out lately? If he lifted his shirt, he might even have ABS. But the next second, she glanced sideways and realized I didn't seem to be looking at my phone. Song Yaozhi blushed. He's looking at my legs. What a pervert. She pulled her legs in and shouted, Hey, what are you doing? I snapped back to my senses and looked up. Song Yaozhi stood with her hands on her hips, glaring at me. You were staring at my legs. You pervert. I cleared my throat and explained. You've got it wrong. I was looking at my phone. Song Yaozhi used to flaunt her legs in front of me, but now I wasn't even allowed to look once. I clearly saw you looking, and you're still denying it. Seeing that she wouldn't let it go, I shot back. Even if I was looking, let me ask you this. Why have you kept the sneakers I gave you? Song Yaozhi froze. She looked down, then realized they really were the shoes I'd given her. Her face burned. Before she could finish, I immediately teased. You just what? Do you still have feelings for me? Song Yaozhi's voice turned cold. You dare. Before she could get the words out, the steaming plates of egg fried rice were set on the table. The owner smiled and said, Give it a try. If you like it, come back again. The tense standoff was interrupted. Song Yaozhi and I exchanged a look, snorted, and started eating. As I ate, I thought, she's still as unreasonable as ever. Song Yaozhi was full of resentment too. He's still as impossible as ever. At that moment, we both felt that youthful, hazy feeling we once shared was gone for good. Song Yaozhi's gaze gradually hardened. Clenching her fist, she said to me, Since we're roommates now, I need to lay down 3 rules with you. I looked up, completely confused. Song Yaozhi began counting on her fingers. When I'm taking a shower, you stay in your room. No coming out. I nodded, as if I wanted to look. It's not like I've never seen you before. Second, we split the air conditioning bill equally. We each get the same amount of time. Set it to turn off 3 hours after bedtime. My mouth fell open. 3 hours? It's scorching out. Are we not supposed to sleep the rest of the night? Song Yaozhi gave a light cough. I did take you into consideration. That's why I said 3 hours. She wasn't trying to target me. She only had a little over 1,000 yuan left. Without cutting back, she wouldn't make it to next month. She could ask her family for some money, but she'd vowed to make something of herself. Asking her family for money right after leaving home would be impossible to justify. Thinking that, Song Yaozhi looked up and glared at me again. I was just about to say something, but I saw how angry Song Yaozhi was. Helplessly, I said, Fine, 3 hours it is. I'm not exactly rolling in money either. We should save where we can. But I never expected Song Yaozhi's third rule to treat me like I wasn't even human. Third, no gaming at night. I refused immediately. If I can't play games, what's the difference between living and dying? Song Yaozhi looked at me with slight annoyance. When we were together, all you ever did at night was play games. Are games really that fun? Couldn't you spend more time with me? As soon as she said it, she realized something was off. Blushing, she corrected herself. I mean, you can't play games when it's time to sleep. You can play until 11 at the latest. I nodded. Fine, 11 it is. This isn't college anymore. If I stay up gaming till late, they'll dock my pay if I'm late. Song Yaozhi nodded in satisfaction. Then she said, What? A fourth rule? Didn't you say 3 ground rules? Why is there a fourth one? Song Yaozhi coughed lightly. 3 is just a figure of speech. It's not meant literally. I get it. You're playing word games with me. Underwear must be washed separately. You can't just throw everything into the washing machine. I nodded and agreed. Then I looked at her. You've made so many demands. I get to make 2 of my own. Song Yaozhi raised her chin proudly. I'm neat and perfect. What could you possibly complain about? I gave a smug little laugh. Don't leave your clothes lying everywhere. Song Yaozhi blushed. She remembered what happened that afternoon and stammered. Of course, at least I won't leave them in the living room. Don't worry about that. Second, don't read novels at midnight and scream. Song Yaozhi blushed even harder at that. I knew she loved reading novels. She'd often stay up late reading, then flood me with messages, dozens at a time. Song Yaozhi put on a brave front and said, Well, of course, I'm working now. Things aren't like before. I definitely won't read novels in the middle of the night. Once we had agreed, we went home. Song Yaozhi immediately tore out a sheet of paper. She wrote down the rules we'd just discussed. There were 6 rules in all. She included her own rules too. She taped the paper to the cabinet by the door. She tittied up her things and decided to take a shower first. But when she thought of me right next door, her heart began beating faster. She went to my bedroom door and called through it. I'm going to shower. Put your headphones on. Don't come out. You can come out once I'm done. I called back toward the door helplessly. Got it. It's not like I want to look at you. I put on my headphones. No one was around to game with at this hour, so I could only play a couple of soft songs. Yet I could still faintly hear the water rushing in the bathroom. An image involuntarily appeared in my mind. Song Yaozhi taking a shower. Then came a sudden scream. I froze. Since when did my imagination come with sound effects? Then I heard several more shouts. I took off my headphones. Only then did I realize Song Yaozhi was calling for me. I opened the door and called out, "What's wrong? Check the water heater for me. The water's freezing." Song Yaozhi had planned to go out herself, but she'd already taken off her clothes. She was naked and drenched. She couldn't step out in clean pajamas without finishing her shower. She stood in the bathroom, shy and embarrassed. It's only our first day living together. How are we going to manage from here on out? I went into the kitchen. The water heater wasn't even on. I turned it on. The heater let out a clear beep. I called toward the bathroom. Try it now. Once Song Yaozhi confirmed that hot water was flowing, she finally called back. You, go back to your room. Remember to lock the door and put your headphones on. I thought, wasn't she just fooling herself? Besides, what was so interesting about shower water? I lay on the bed, staring at the unfamiliar ceiling with a sigh. How was this any different from a couple married for 20 years, sleeping in separate rooms? Lost in thought, I drifted into a deep sleep. The next day, I went to work. I was a test engineer, handling mechanical simulations and all kinds of miscellaneous tasks. As a rookie just starting out, I basically knew nothing. All I could do was follow the veterans and learn. Behind my desk sat a guy about my age. He was a recent graduate too, named Fu Yangshu. We exchanged greetings and started the workday. The company I joined was a well-known major firm. Its rules and systems were well established. There was a full onboarding process for new hires. Even though I just started working, I already understood the art of slacking off. I even knew the trick of getting paid to sit on the toilet. Meanwhile, Song Yaozhi sat at her desk in a business suit. Thankfully, she and I did not work at the same company. If we had, she would have wanted to hop on a train and flee overnight. We had been in the same major in college, though we were not in the same class. We attended lectures together. As she thought about it, she remembered us whispering to each other in class. Back then, she had loved hearing me talk. My voice had a youthful quality, and listening to me had felt as intoxicating as wine. What am I even thinking? Song Yaozhi pressed a hand to her forehead and shoved that strange thought aside. She hurriedly turned on her computer. Behind her sat a woman who looked to be in her 30s, with a gentle, mature air. She was Song Yaozhi's mentor. The day passed quickly. It was both our first day at work. We were exhausted, but still excited to begin our careers. After work, we each dragged our tired bodies home. In the living room, we kept a yard between us. A square red and gold gift bag sat on the coffee table. Song Yaozhi did not know what it was. She glanced at it, guessing it was some kind of welcome gift from my job. Probably just notebooks or pens, plus a mug. Song Yaozhi secretly studied me in my suit. The last time I wore one was for a college event. I had spoken on stage. Back then, I was youthful and full of confidence. I looked handsome. She had taken so many pictures. Though now, those photos were all sitting in her recycle bin. I was secretly studying Song Yaozhi too. Her white shirt outlined her slender waist. She had a mature charm I hadn't seen before. The innocence of a fresh graduate and the poise of someone newly entering. The working world blended together. It kept tugging at my heartstrings. I tapped my forehead. Song Yaozhi, do you need skincare products? Song Yaozhi made a puzzled sound. What kind of question was that? Of course she needed them. She only had a few old bottles left, nearly empty. Did she really need skincare for work? She could just make do with what she had. She was quiet for a moment, but I had noticed that the toner in the bathroom was nearly gone. Maybe I was overthinking it. So, we fell silent again. Things between us were already awkward, especially in a situation like this. We had no idea what to say. I considered retreating to my room, but the living room windows were wide open, and it was cooler than my bedroom. It was not time to turn on the air conditioning yet. Still, Song Yaozhi broke the silence first. How was your first day at work? I did not expect Song Yaozhi to make small talk, so we chatted on and off about our first day at work. A few minutes later, I pointed to the gift bag on the table. This is what I won in a raffle on my first day at work. It's makeup. See if you like it. If you do, take it and use it. Song Yaozhi froze. Only then did we realize that as we talked, the meter of space between us had disappeared. Just like before, our arms were nearly touching. Song Yaozhi's cheeks reddened. For me, I pretended to stay calm. Though my heart rate had already shot past 100. I can't use this stuff. You should take it. Otherwise, it will go to waste. We're roommates now. After all, Song Yaozhi still waved it away. No, I can't accept it. We had broken up. After all, even if we had not, she could not casually accept gifts from me. You're out of money, aren't you? Song Yaozhi looked up, her expression giving her away. You, how did you know? She covered her mouth as soon as she said it. I turned away, wearing an I knew it expression. I knew her too well. Broke, yet always too proud to admit it. She had been the same in college. Once, Song Yaozhi spent money on Sony headphones for me. They cost several thousand yuan. Then she ate little bread rolls alone in her dorm. I only found out later. No matter how I asked her out during that time, she would not leave her dorm. And now Song Yaozhi was renting a place here. With roommates, no less. If not to save money, then why? So, she was just like me. Song Yaozhi blushed and coughed softly. I still have money. Don't make things up. I turned and stared at her. How much do you have left? Song Yaozhi looked deeply guilty. Her gaze drifted away. I still have plenty. I sighed. I really did know her well. Song Yaozhi turned back. She looked at me, embarrassed and annoyed. She cursed under her breath. It's all because of you. You jerk. I pushed the gift towards Song Yaozhi. Just take it and use it for now. If you feel bad about it, write it down. When you get paid, treat me to dinner. Song Yaozhi lowered her head, her face slightly red. Just so we're clear, even if you're helping me for now, we're still only ordinary roommates. I stood and waved a hand. Then I returned to my room and closed the door. I crouched beside my open suitcase. I could not help gently stroking the case of the over-ear headphones inside. I remembered Song Yaozhi hurrying over to me, her face bright red as she handed them to me. I sighed. Consider this me paying you back. Even after we broke up, I always felt that I owed her far too much. Early the next morning, Song Yaozhi was already gone when I woke up. On the dining table in the living room were a bag of snacks and a note. Song Yaozhi's delicate handwriting read, I don't have anything to repay you with yet. Please accept these snacks. When I get paid, I'll treat you to a big meal. She had drawn a cute smiling face at the end. I smiled. Then I tucked the note into a cabinet. Workdays always pass faster than I expected. Most of the time was spent in meetings. I sat there every day, fighting sleep. They were even more sleep-inducing than advanced calculus. And our team lead announced a team-building event that weekend. I really did not want to go. Wasn't team building just spending an entire day pretending to socialize with people you barely knew? But Fu Yangshu said there would be great meals at lunch and dinner. That immediately sounded amazing. I had been living on plain food all week. My mouth was desperate for some flavor. Whenever I passed the Mala Tang shop downstairs, I would stand there and smell it for 2 minutes. When I got home, Song Yaozhi was on the couch, researching how to eat cheaply without sacrificing taste. She had changed into a white dress. She wore little pink slippers. Her pale, delicate toes rested lightly on the slippers. I could not help taking a couple of looks. Then I cleared my throat and said, we're having a team-building event this weekend. Guess what we're eating? Song Yaozhi turned to me and asked, eating? What are you eating? I raised one finger before Song Yaozhi. Listen up. Tomorrow at lunch, we're having an all-you-can-eat hot pot and steak buffet. I hear that place is incredible. The hot pot is fragrant and spicy. For dinner, we're having Chinese food. There will be braised beef and sea cucumber braised with scallions. Song Yaozhi shot me a look, though her appetite gave her away. Then she swallowed and sighed. She cursed. Of course, he was trying to tempt me. And here I thought he'd gotten a little better. What a jerk. Yet her face remained icy. Her voice was just as cold as she said, is that so? How nice. I had no idea how I had upset Song Yaozhi again. Why did she seem angry again? Song Yaozhi thought of eating bread again that night and felt a surge of grievance. When would she finally get paid? I asked, your company doesn't do team building? Song Yaozhi shook her head. Then I understood. No wonder she was upset. We were already in the middle of a half-hearted Cold War. The little we said was more like ordinary conversation between roommates. There really were some things I did not need to say. Watching Song Yaozhi turn away coldly, I went back to my room and kept pounding my thigh. I always blurted things out. I only thought about what I wanted to say, never considering other people's feelings. Maybe that was why she broke up with me. Thinking that, I spread my arms out, staring quietly at the ceiling. I should be more careful with my words from now on. Lately, I had been talking to her too much again. I stared at the ceiling. We only happened to be living together. Once 3 months passed and we both had money, we would go our separate ways. Meanwhile, Song Yaozhi sat in the living room, feeling regretful. Why did I have to give him the cold shoulder? Am I an idiot? She slapped both hands against her cheeks. Her having no money was not his fault. He had bought her so many things too. While packing, Song Yaozhi realized that I had bought quite a few of her clothes. She had kept them all and brought them with her. For one thing, she truly saw no reason to throw them away. For another, she had thought that she had moved so far away from me that we would never meet again in this lifetime. So naturally, there was nothing to worry about. I spoke with her so openly, yet she couldn't help giving me the cold shoulder. But we broke up. I don't even like her anymore. And yet I still told her all that. That thought made Song Yaozhi feel hurt and aggrieved again. It almost felt as though he were showing off. As she kept thinking, she lay down on the couch and curled up her legs. Under the same roof, in separate rooms, she and I harbored different thoughts. While lying in almost identical poses, the sky gradually darkened. The two of us were still lying there, contemplating life. Both of us were intensely replaying everything in our minds. What began with a brief silence gradually became memories of our 3 years together. Had we said the wrong things like this before too? Without a word, we both went over every problem from our time together in our hearts. After a little while, Song Yaozhi seemed to make up her mind. She stood, clenched her fist, and hurried toward my room. Just as she was about to knock, the door opened. Actually, I had been thinking the same thing as Song Yaozhi. I wanted to explain too, that I had not said those things to show off. But who would have thought Song Yaozhi was right outside? The moment I opened it, Song Yaozhi lost her balance. She stumbled forward, straight into my arms. Song Yaozhi let out a miserable cry. I reflexively reached out and caught Song Yaozhi in my arms. Song Yaozhi was not tall. She was about 5'3", but her proportions were perfect, making her seem taller than she was. I was exactly 5'11", so I caught her easily. Song Yaozhi's forehead bumped against my chest. We both froze for a moment. I was the first to recover. One hand supported Song Yaozhi's back, while the other held her slender, soft arm. Her skin was smooth as cream and soft as water. I asked anxiously, "Are you okay?" Song Yaozhi's vision went dark for a moment. Then she caught a familiar scent. It was the faint fragrance coming from me. She had once loved that scent. It smelled like sunshine, warm and bright. She used to hold me like this, gently rubbing her nose against my chest as she breathed it in all day. Song Yaozhi could not resist. She nuzzled against me like she used to, then took a deep breath. Her face wore an expression of happiness and contentment. She looked up and met my worried gaze. Her whole body went rigid. What did I just do? Her face visibly turned red, right down to her ears. Her eyes were full of panic. I had not noticed Song Yaozhi taking that sniff. I only asked worriedly again, "Are you okay?" "I'm definitely not okay." Song Yaozhi screamed endlessly inside. What am I doing? I threw myself into my ex-boyfriend's arms and even smelled his scent. I want to disappear into a hole. As Song Yaozhi watched my face draw closer, her mind became even more scrambled. Her body began to tremble. I thought Song Yaozhi had hurt her head. I gently shook her and said, "Say something. What's wrong?" "You didn't hit your head, did you?" I reached out and placed my hand on Song Yaozhi's forehead. Song Yaozhi went blank. Her brain completely crashed. Her heart went from racing wildly to seemingly stopping altogether. Then her already red face grew even redder, starting from her neck. She looked like a fully cooked shrimp. Steam seemed to curl from her head. It was as though my hand were on a sizzling grill, making a faint hiss. I pulled my hand back and gently shook it. She wasn't merely overheated. She was fully cooked. After 3 seconds, Song Yaozhi finally snapped out of it. She took half a step back, stood straight, and said, "You." I released my left arm from around her. "What?" Song Yaozhi shut her eyes and spoke in a rush. "I did not mean to be cold to you earlier. I'm sorry." I froze for a moment. "So that was what you came to talk about?" I scratched my head. "I shouldn't have given you attitude earlier, either." "I'm sorry." Song Yaozhi clenched both hands into fists. Her lips twisted into a tense frown. She fought hard to keep from looking strange, though she already looked very strange. "That's it then. Yeah, I'm going to bed." After saying that, Song Yaozhi turned stiffly round, then walked to her bedroom door. Bang! She shut her bedroom door and retreated into her little room. Song Yaozhi leaned against the door, feeling her heart pound wildly. She let out a long breath and gradually calmed down. Seriously, what am I even doing? I only meant to apologize, but I fell into his arms and even did something like that. Song Yaozhi slowly slid down until she was sitting on the tiled floor. Her head bowed, that burning red face of hers. She did not even want the moon to see it. Meanwhile, I stood outside the door, replaying what had just happened. Do not let such a tiny bit of contact make your heart race. How pathetic. I still could not stop longing for those tender moments. Little did I know, the girl next door was even worse off. I opened my eyes at 7:30 that morning. It was the weekend, yet I still had to get up early. That was the unreasonable part of a team-building event. I got up and quietly washed up. Looking at Song Yaozhi's tightly shut door, I figured she was probably still sleeping in. I wondered what she would eat today. I wanted to tell her not to eat bread again, but given the state of our relationship, with the little money Song Yaozhi had, her choices were bread or instant noodles. I quietly shut the door and headed to the office. Several colleagues were already waiting. My department was small, only 12 people total. Our department head was Xingyuan, the organizer of this team building trip. We arrived at 8 that morning. The event was a little more fun than I expected. But at dinner that night, the drinking never stopped, whether the first knew them or not. I had a couple of drinks with everyone. I looked over the table full of food. No one had touched several dishes. What a waste. Xingyuan gathered several new graduates and started spouting cheesy life lessons. They held up their glasses and humored him. The thing I heard Xingyuan say most was, "If you do not drink, you do not respect me." And I was the lowest ranking employee in the department. Above me were 8 supervisors, which meant I had to show respect to at least 8 people that night. Sometimes I wondered if I had come here to work at all. And Xingyuan had far too many ways to pressure people into drinking. If you cannot drink, learn. If you can't drink, At least take a token sip. If you do not toast him, you do not respect him. If you toast him, but do not finish it, you still do not respect him. There was an unspoken rule at the table. The less senior you were, the lower you had to hold your glass. I heard that for every 100 yuan gap in base pay, your glass had to be a centimeter lower. So, when I toasted Li Xingyuan, I had to take an elevator down to the basement and lay the foundation first. Meanwhile, Song Yaozhi spent the entire day lying around at home. She only ordered a bowl of malatang. If I don't move, I won't eat tea. Perfect, but her period was due in a few days, and feminine products were insanely expensive. What a pain, and it was so hot. Maybe she should just buy tampons. Song Yaozhi lay on the couch, idly swinging her pale legs. I wonder if he had fun today. He must have eaten well. Eat plenty. Song Yaozhi thought about it. If this were before, I probably would have sent him pictures. Song Yaozhi opened her phone, only then remembering that she had deleted his contact information. Even though she remembered my phone number and social media accounts perfectly, she looked at the clock in the living room. It was already 9 o'clock. Why was he not back yet? A trace of worry rose in her heart. Team building events always involve drinking. What if he drank too much? Just as she was thinking that, she heard familiar footsteps outside the door. Then she heard me call out, "Song Yaozhi." She immediately sprang off the couch. She bolted to the front door and threw it open. "Are you okay?" I had not expected Song Yaozhi to come so quickly. She came rushing right at me. I was holding several bags in both hands. Greasy liquid spilled straight out of one of them. My white shirt was covered in grease. Song Yaozhi let out a startled cry. "Are you okay?" I was clearly drunk, but I said cheerfully, "I'm fine. I packed all this food to bring back. I even had the kitchen heated up. Did you eat dinner? I'll put it on the table. Have some." As I spoke, I walked inside and set the dishes on the table. Then I mumbled hazily, "No, no one had even touched the food. They just kept chugging drinks." Then I staggered toward the bathroom, leaving Song Yaozhi standing there in a daze. The door was still open, and the summer breeze made the hem of her skirt flutter softly. Song Yaozhi watched me rush into the bathroom. For a moment, she almost wanted to cry. "What is wrong with you? You're drunk, and you still remembered all that." She closed the door, then hurried to the bathroom. I was bracing myself against the wall. It looked like I had drunk quite a lot. Hearing her, I turned around. Song Yaozhi's figure split from 1 into 3. I murmured, "There are 3 of you?" Song Yaozhi wanted to laugh and cry at once. "This idiot." She held a cup of warm water to my lips, her voice gentle. "Drink some water. Stop being silly." I took it and took a sip. I felt a little clearer afterward. Song Yaozhi gently patted my back. I wanted to throw up, but could not. My stomach felt bloated with gas. I had drunk nothing but alcohol. I felt awful. Seeing my soaked shirt, Song Yaozhi hurried into my room. She looked at the suitcase on the floor and planned to find me something to wear. When she crouched down, she saw those headphones. What an idiot. What was the point of my gift if he would not use it? She took out a white t-shirt and held it to her nose for a sniff. Song Yaozhi froze. What am I doing? Honestly, I was only checking whether it was clean. It was. That is all. Song Yaozhi carried the white shirt to the bathroom and handed it to me. I took it and thanked her, then leaned against the wall, staring blankly again. Song Yaozhi stepped aside, leaving the door cracked open as she left. She looked at the dishes on the table, then went downstairs to buy 2 pairs of chopsticks and 2 bowls. When she returned, she washed them and set them on the table. She gently knocked on the bathroom door. "Have you changed?" There was no answer from inside. She pushed open the door and looked. I was still holding the shirt, embracing myself in the corner. My face was still flushed. She walked over, waving her little hand before my face. "Are you still awake? Are you really okay?" Song Yaozhi was worried. I nodded woodenly. My mind felt clear, but my body was weak and drained. Song Yaozhi gently took my arm and led me to a chair in the living room. Then she raised both my arms straight overhead. Song Yaozhi grabbed the hem of my shirt and pulled it off. My toned upper body was exposed. Song Yaozhi looked at my body, her face turning slightly red. "He has really been working out since we broke up. An 8-pack. I really want to touch them." "No touching. No touching. I am only helping him change. Do not overthink it." After changing my clothes, she said to me softly, "Eat something." I was still hazy at the time. Whatever Song Yaozhi told me to do, I did. Every so often, I would give her a foolish grin. The 2 of us ate without saying a word. There was no way to have a conversation. Song Yaozhi simply watched my silly expression with those eyes of hers. He has not changed at all. Even drunk, he still remembered to bring me food. That foolish man. Song Yaozhi smiled. She just quietly watched me. This was nice too. The next day, I woke up from the heat. Sunlight streamed through the curtains onto my head. Still groggy, I opened my eyes and checked my phone. 11 o'clock. I sat up, rubbing my aching head. I thought back to yesterday. What did I do yesterday? I drank too much. Why did it feel like a girl touched my stomach yesterday? I held my head and thought. I rolled out of bed. I looked in the mirror. Had I changed clothes? I opened my bedroom door and walked out. Song Yaozhi was already on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She was probably reading another romance novel about two powerful leads. Hearing me, Song Yaozhi looked up, her face slightly red. She greeted me. "Morning. You are up?" I nodded. "I drank too much yesterday. I did not bother you, did I? I did not make a fool of myself, right?" Song Yaozhi's eyes darted away as she gave a light cough. "You drank too much yesterday. When you got back, you kept insisting that you needed to change. You changed by yourself. It had nothing to do with me." I felt like Song Yaozhi was lying. She always acted like this when she lied. But why was she lying? I started worrying again. I really did not do anything strange yesterday, did I? You did not take pictures of me, did you? Song Yaozhi rolled her eyes. Who would want pictures of you? You think too highly of yourself. You should be glad I did not complain about how late you got back. Now hurry up and take a shower. You reek of alcohol. Song Yaozhi covered her nose, pretending to be disgusted. I scratched my head and went into the bathroom, trying hard to remember. Song Yaozhi's face was burning red. Actually, when she helped me into bed yesterday, she could not resist touching my abs. She even took a photo. Since I did not remember, she counted as interest for taking care of me. Before long, July arrived. The weather grew hotter by the day, and at that moment, Song Yaozhi's air conditioner broke down. She sat on the couch, helplessly fanning herself. It was a little round blue plastic fan her company had handed out. When I got home from work and opened the door, I found Song Yaozhi sprawled on the couch like a limp fish. Her face said, "My life is nothing but darkness." Song Yaozhi's office was nearby, and she got off work earlier. She usually arrived home half an hour before I did. Seeing her expression, I asked, "What is wrong? Trouble at work?" Song Yaozhi shook her head as she fanned herself. "The air conditioner in my room is broken. It is not cooling anymore. The landlord says the repairman cannot come until the weekend, but it is only Wednesday. The soonest he can come is Saturday." Song Yaozhi could not understand it. How was anyone supposed to survive summer without air conditioning? Was she supposed to sleep in the living room with the windows open? I could not help laughing. Song Yaozhi turned and glared at me fiercely. "I am about to pass out from the heat, and you are laughing. Then, what will you do?" "What else can I do? I will sleep on the couch. We are high enough up here, and there is plenty of wind at night with the windows open." Without thinking, I blurted out, "How about you sleep with me?" Song Yaozhi tilted her head, staring at me in shock. I had meant to say, "You can sleep in my room," but then I remembered we had broken up, and being too intimate would not be right. Instead, the words slipped out, and I only said half of them. That was how this happened. The air instantly turned awkward and silent. Song Yaozhi's face went bright red. She curled into the corner of the couch, hugging herself tightly. Pointing at me, she said, "You have no shame." Her finger kept wagging up and down. We have already broken up. How can you say something like that? You have been thinking that way about me all along." Song Yaozhi felt her head burning. He actually said he wanted to sleep with me. That is way too direct. At least pick the right moment and be a little gentler. There is no at least. What am I even thinking? I slapped my forehead. Wait. Let me explain. Song Yaozhi grabbed a throw pillow and held it in front of herself. She said sullenly, "What could you possibly explain? So this is the kind of person you are. I was completely wrong about you." I hurriedly said at top speed, "I meant to ask whether you wanted to sleep in my room. You are reading way too much into it." Song Yaozhi froze. Her big eyes blinked. She sat there completely stunned. "That is what you meant?" What was I thinking? She hugged the pillow tighter and shrank back further. Still suspicious, she said, "Then why did you only say half of it? If I sleep in your room, where will you sleep?" I shrugged. "I will sleep in your bed, or on the couch." Song Yaozhi looked at me suspiciously again. "You will sleep in my bed. Do you want to smell my scent on the bed or something?" I looked at Song Yaozhi in silence. What exactly do you think I am? Who actually does something like that in real life? Yet someone really did do that. That someone was Song Yaozhi. She turned away and stared at the wall. "Forget it. I can put up with the heat. With a little fanning, I can still fall asleep." The two of us fell silent. The room grew hotter and hotter. I asked, "Are you sure?" Song Yaozhi drew a breath. She was not sure. After all, in heat like this, she would probably be unable to sleep. I picked up the glass from the table and took a drink. Then I asked quietly, "Then, how about we sleep in the same room?" I knew you were still up to no good. Song Yaozhi's first thought was that I would lure her into a dim little room and start putting my hands all over her. That was what I did when we were dating. I nearly sprayed out my water. "No. Who is trying anything with you? What are you thinking about all day?" I do not have any improper thoughts about you. But Song Yaozhi was wearing a slip dress, baring her fair, rosy shoulders. Under the cool tone living room lights, she looked utterly alluring. Her cheeks were flushed. Her bouncy, youthful hair swayed softly. The pillow covered only half of her, leaving one delicate collarbone exposed. Her fair legs pressed together as she edged back. My heart was in turmoil, but I still said calmly, I really do not have any improper thoughts." Song Yaozhi watched me suddenly go all zen. She wondered she had been overthinking it. When do people in love hold each other? Desire can get the better of them. But before we started dating, I had always been proper, and I respected her deeply. That was one reason she liked me. Besides, she was always touching me too. So who was really craving whose body? It was hard to say. Maybe she should not blame me either. Song Yaozhi looked at me and asked, "So, what do we do?" I thought for a moment. "I'll spread my sleeping mat on the floor. You sleep on the bed. That solves the problem, right?" Song Yaozhi nodded. So I went into the room and started setting things up. A few minutes later, Song Yaozhi lifted her blanket with a heave and put it on my bed. That night, we both got under the covers. Song Yaozhi immediately pulled the blanket over herself. I looked at her and thought she was like a cat. I picked up the remote, turned on the air conditioner, and switched off the light. The room instantly sank into darkness. Song Yaozhi lay there for a while. The air conditioner hummed as it blew, and the room quickly became much cooler. She asked, "Earlier, why did you want to come find me? Did you want to sleep with me?" I was lying on the floor, looking at my phone. Hearing that, I could not help asking, What are you talking about? What do you mean, earlier? What do you mean, sleep together? Do not make things up and accuse me because you're half asleep." Song Yaozhi felt she had asked rather suddenly, so she explained, "I mean before. That time in our sophomore year, you came to find me at the hotel. Remember? Do not tell me you forgot." I thought back. It was as if a loading icon spun above my head. When it finished spinning, it went ding. Then I remembered. "Oh, you mean that time?" Song Yaozhi ducked further beneath the covers. "After my friends found out about it, they all said." "Said what?" Song Yaozhi blushed. She quickly said, "They said you wanted to sleep with me." Song Yaozhi blurted out something shocking. I froze. Where had she even heard that? I turned over and met Song Yaozhi's beautiful doe eyes. If I said no, would you believe me? Song Yaozhi did not know whether to say yes or no, but at that moment, she hesitated to. Then she nodded, blushing. Maybe she should not have asked that. Song Yaozhi asked from beneath the covers, "You really did not have even the slightest thought like that?" I replied irritably. "It was the middle of the night. I was tired as a dog. I was worried about you, so I rode for an hour to find you. How could I have had that kind of thought? Can you stop overthinking? Anyone after your body would have to be shameless, okay?" Song Yaozhi got upset. "What is wrong with my body? I've got great legs. I have breasts too." Song Yaozhi was furious. I snorted. "Breasts? Where?" Song Yaozhi slapped the sleeping mat. Then she turned away in a huff. "I am not talking to you anymore. Talking to you is no fun at all. What is wrong with my breasts? They are a little small, but it is not like I do not have any. Someone could not get enough of them when we were dating, but now he acts like they are beneath him." We fell silent. The room was utterly quiet. In the dark, each of us was lost in our own thoughts. After a while, Song Yaozhi softly asked, "Can we run the air conditioner for 6 hours tonight?" Then I remembered. If we split it between 2 people, that is 3 hours each. I realized it too, and praised her. "You are a genius." Then I silently took the remote and changed the timer to 6 hours. 10 minutes later, we both fell deeply asleep, carrying similar feelings. Song Yaozhi's alarm went off, and I slowly opened my eyes. What I saw was neither the headboard nor the sunlight, but a beautiful face inches from mine. The blanket had somehow vanished. The girl's arm was draped across me. For a moment, I was completely bewildered. Then Song Yaozhi slowly opened her eyes. Our eyes met. Song Yaozhi still had that sleepy, confused look. Her hand was even resting on my face, gently stroking it. She shifted closer, bringing her face nearer to mine. She gave a soft little giggle. "Morning, babe." My brain crashed. I was awake, but Song Yaozhi apparently was not. I watched Song Yaozhi slowly move closer. I felt her soft body against mine and saw the tenderness in her eyes. My heart began pounding wildly. Then Song Yaozhi slowly leaned in, as though she was about to kiss me. She slowly closed her eyes. Her glistening red lips looked so tempting. Then Song Yaozhi wrapped her arms around my neck and drew even closer. I froze, unable to move. The summer sunlight was perfect. The room still held a pleasant chill, and everything felt so peaceful. The next second, our lips met. I stopped thinking. Those soft lips I once craved so desperately had fallen on mine once again. Just then, the alarm rang again. Song Yaozhi released her arms from around me and rolled over. Her hands searched wildly across the sleeping mat. When she realized the sound was coming from the bed, she sat up with her hair in a mess. Her gaze unfocused, she searched. At last, she found her phone. Song Yaozhi slowly regained her senses and realized something. "Oh, I am not a college student anymore. I am a working adult now." Her mind gradually cleared. Then she turned to look at me, then at her phone, then back at me. The next second, Song Yaozhi let out a scream. At the bathroom sink, we brushed our teeth furiously. Song Yaozhi said angrily, "This is unbelievable. Someone actually did that while I was not fully awake." I loudly protested. "You are the one who ended up in my bed." Song Yaozhi blushed. "I rolled off the bed, and you actually kissed your ex-girlfriend. You have absolutely no boundaries. I filled a cup with water too. You were the one who kissed me." Song Yaozhi's face turned even redder. With her head lowered, she rinsed and said, "Could you not have pushed me away? You know I can be groggy in the mornings. You did it on purpose." I cleared my throat. It happened so suddenly that I could not react either. Besides, you kissed me. How can you blame me for that? You are so passive. You do not even know how to say no to a woman. You are driving me crazy. So any girl who throws herself at you, you'll catch her, won't you? Then you will say it was not your fault, because she made the first move. That is not true at all. Do not make things up. You said that girl hugged me before. I told you. She never got to hug me. I pushed her away. You just saw it from the wrong angle. There you go again. But before we started dating, you were the same. When I hugged you, you did not reject me either. And you are still the same now. Can you not push people away? I am clearly your ex-girlfriend. Yet you still did not reject me. The next second, I blurted out, "But you are different." The moment I said that, our eyes met. We were both breathing hard. The air fell silent. Song Yaozhi froze for a moment. I am different. What did that mean? Her face grew hot. She did not dare meet my eyes, and quietly turned away. She looked at her messy hair in the mirror, and her flushed cheeks. She took a mouthful of water, spat it out, and asked, "What do you mean?" I spat out my rinse water too, and stammered, "What I mean is, even before we started dating, I already liked you." Hearing that, Song Yaozhi lowered her red face and finished brushing her teeth. Neither of us mentioned that morning again. Song Yaozhi packed up her things, got dressed, grabbed her bag, and headed out. At the door, she turned around and said with a fierce look, "Forget what happened this morning." Of course, I had forgotten. Ji Yanli. Fu Yangshi gave my shoulder a hard pat. Ji Yanli. I snapped back to my senses and looked at him. "What is it?" Fu Yangshu looked concerned. "Are you okay? I called you several times, but you never answered." "Oh, right." I coughed twice and explained. "I was thinking about the project. I got a little carried away." The project equaled Song Yaozhi. Sigh. She would only hurt my work efficiency. I was just trying to forget her. Yet she called me babe again, and even kissed me. So cute. How ridiculous. It was only something she did while half asleep. Does that mean, deep down, she has not broken up with me yet? Or maybe her subconscious wants us back together. Maybe she has always been like this. Do not read too much into it. Meanwhile, Song Yaozhi stared blankly at her office screen. I actually kissed Ji Yanli, and I was the one who kissed him first. Just kill me now. At that thought, Song Yaozhi wished the ground would swallow her whole. Yet the feeling of that morning's kiss still lingered in her mind. Impossible to shake. That kiss, after months apart, felt all the more vivid and unforgettable. And then there were my words. "You are different." Did he only mean before they dated? Or did he mean now too? Song Yaozhi could not figure it out. Xingyuan had just returned from getting water in the break room. She set a pack of cookies on Song Yaozhi's desk, patted her shoulder, and said, "Young people should show some restraint." Song Yaozhi blushed. She instantly began explaining in a fluster. "No, it is not like that. I did not do anything. It is not what you think. Sister Zheng." Xingyuan merely nodded. She was so easy to read. What an adorable girl. She returned to her own desk, leaving Song Yaozhi to dwell on it. Song Yaozhi held her burning cheeks. What am I going to do? It is only Thursday. I still have to sleep in his room for at least 2 more nights. Song Yaozhi dragged her exhausted body home. She tossed her white backpack onto a chair in the living room and collapsed onto the couch. To her surprise, I was already sitting beside it. For once, I had gotten home before her. Song Yaozhi did not have the energy to look at me. She just stared at the ceiling. "Why are you home so early today?" I answered, "I am not working late tonight." I looked at my phone, but watched Song Yaozhi from the corner of my eye. The moment I saw her little face, what happened that morning surfaced in my mind, along with our past. All the times we kissed endlessly, held each other, and whispered sweet nothings. They all came flooding back. Things like, "I like you so much. I want to be with you forever." And words like that, whether romantic or cheesy, every last one came back to me. Sometimes, I also felt that talk of forever and staying together was unrealistic. But back then, whether we said those words or heard them, we truly wished they would come true. We held such beautiful hopes for the future. Maybe it was because we were too immature that we ultimately went our separate ways. I still remember the first time I kissed Song Yaozhi. It was just after sophomore year began. After I went to see her that time, our relationship took a huge step forward. It was a golden October, with a chilly drizzle falling, pattering against the leaves. That day, Song Yaozhi wore a long white dress, a black cardigan over it, and little black leather shoes. I nearly cried out on the spot. She was breathtakingly beautiful. We had just finished our date. I remember that day clearly. We went to a cat cafe. Song Yaozhi had so much fun playing with the cats. She seemed to have a natural way with them. But after dinner, we had a small argument. It was about how, when I played basketball, a girl gave me a love letter, and I brought up how a guy had given her one too. It was not exactly a fight, but neither of us was willing to back down. We made our way back to campus like that, only to get caught in the rain. The drizzle soon turned into a pounding downpour, so I spread open my shirt to shield Song Yaozhi as we headed toward the dorms. We ran through the rain, shouting at each other. Song Yaozi's hair was wet and tousled, and her clothes clung to her body. She looked utterly bedraggled, but I thought she was unbearably adorable. Song Yaozi shouted, "Why did you not reject her?" I shouted back, "I did reject her." Song Yaozi shouted again, "You already have me." Song Yaozi felt so wronged, but new couples are like that. They get jealous over the silliest things. I shouted, "You are the only one I will ever love." Really? Besides, what about the love letter that guy gave you? I tossed it straight into the trash. Just like that, we made up. When we ran beneath her dorm building, the rain still struck the nearby leaves, making a steady pattering sound. I called out to Song Yaozi, "Go inside." Song Yaozi looked at me. Her soft, almond-shaped eyes were misty and tender in the rain. Rainwater streamed down her face. My heart skipped a beat. Song Yaozi asked, "How much do you like me?" I said, "You are the one I love most. There is no one else." Hey, it was only a love letter. It is not like I wrote it to someone else. Song Yaozi pressed her lips together, looked at me, and asked, "If you like me, why have you not kissed me?" At the time, neither of us had ever kissed. We had only held hands. All I could think was, "Kiss you?" I did not have the nerve. Then I stammered out an explanation. "I have wanted to kiss you for a long time, but I did not want you to think I was some guy who only thinks about sex. I did not want you to hate me. Do you understand?" Song Yaozi broke into a happy smile. She stepped forward. Her little black shoes stepped into a puddle, sending up a small splash. "Then I will kiss you first." Her voice was soft and gentle, curling around my ears. The rain kept falling. All I could hear was rain. Rain falling on leaves, rain falling into puddles, and rain drumming on the bike shelter. Its endless tapping filled the air. Then Song Yaozi wrapped her arms around me. She rose lightly onto her toes, her face flushed with shyness, and kissed me. Her soft lips met mine. For an instant, it felt as if the sun rose and set, and the world passed through countless lifetimes. I would never forget that wonderful feeling. Before me was Song Yaozi's adorable face, with rain falling behind her like silver threads. Banana leaves swayed gently before the dormitory. Everything was so beautiful. Looking back now, it was so foolish. Kissing in the rain, yet it felt unbelievably romantic. It was damn romantic. Of course, we both caught colds afterward. I did not know why. At that moment, I remembered that scene again. I looked at Song Yaozi's profile. Song Yaozi had lain there long enough. With a lazy flop, she sat up and looked at me. She cleared her throat. "I am sleeping in your room again tonight." I made a non-committal sound. Song Yaozi made an X with both hands. "Do not try anything with me, or I will report you." I said irritably, "Could it be that you are the one with terrible sleeping habits?" And rolled all the way into my spot. "And you were the one who kissed me first." Song Yaozi blushed. An awkward look crossed her face. "Yes, the bed was too high. Tonight, I will reinforce my defenses. And we agreed not to mention this morning. So, you did not forget." I turned my head away. "I forgot it ages ago." Song Yaozi gave a cold huff. She crossed her arms over her chest. Looking down at me, she said, "Could someone possibly still be obsessing over kissing me?" She hit the mark, but I turned away and said, "How could I? I have kissed you so many times. One little morning kiss is hardly worth obsessing over." I went on the offensive. "Though someone does not seem very calm right now." Song Yaozi felt her face burning. What was this jerk talking about? What did he mean? Kiss so many times. Fine. They had kissed plenty of times. Damn it. Song Yaozi stomped her foot. Then she headed for my room. I am going to set up my defenses. I definitely will not fall off tonight. I watched Song Yaozi walk away, wondering what she was up to now. When I saw what she had set up, I froze. Her so-called defenses were stuffed toys lined along the bed's edge. There was a long green plush toy and a dinosaur plushie. I looked at Song Yaozi, lying in bed in pajamas and reading a novel. "Do you think those can stop you?" Song Yaozi shook her head. "Honestly, probably not." I grabbed the dinosaur plushie by a foot. "Then what is the point of putting them here?" Song Yaozi cleared her throat. "But I do not have anything else to use." It was like elementary school kids arguing, then lining up erasers and pencils across their desks. It would stop a gentleman, not a scoundrel. I lay down on the bamboo mat too. It was 11 at night, about time for bed. Song Yaozi seemed to remember something. She suddenly asked, "Why have you not been gaming lately?" I said, "No one has been around to play with lately." Actually, Song Yaozi was resting in my room. I was afraid gaming would disturb her. Besides, when I got worked up, I would definitely start swearing. I did not want Song Yaozi to see that side of me. Song Yaozi did not read into it. Instead, she reached over and switched off the bedside lamp. "Let us sleep. It is about time. The air conditioner is on, and the breeze feels perfect. It is perfect for sleeping. You can do this. Song Yaozi, sleep properly tonight. You definitely will not roll off the bed." I nodded. "Just do not roll off again. If you do, you are definitely trying to take advantage of me." Song Yaozi scoffed. "Take advantage of you? Dream on. Other than feeling nice to touch, I have no interest in you at all." Song Yaozi held up her fingers. She declared firmly, "I swear, if I fall off the bed again, I am a puppy." The next morning, I opened my eyes and saw Song Yaozhi right in front of me. She slept like a complete mess. She lay there carelessly, her limbs sprawled in all four directions like a newly domesticated animal's. Then she rolled over, her hands smacking loudly against her own face. It was hard not to suspect she did it on purpose. After a long while, Song Yaozhi finally opened her eyes. Her lovely almond-shaped eyes looked soft and affectionate. "Morning," I said coldly. "Song Yaozhi, you are a puppy." Still groggy, Song Yaozhi tilted her head. Then, half-eyed, she gave a soft little sound. "Woof, you actually called your ex-girlfriend a puppy? What kind of man are you? You are such a pervert." We stood at the sink, brushing our teeth. Song Yaozhi grumbled through her toothbrush, her eyes having already stabbed me 1,000 times. By then, I had finally calmed down. "You were the one who said, if you roll off again, you would be a puppy." "I only repeated your own words. You did it on purpose." Song Yaozhi sniffed. "How could I have done it on purpose? Who would deliberately roll into your bed? My innocence is ruined." I shot her a sideways look. "You have innocence left." Song Yaozhi huffed coldly. She turned her head away. "Anyway, you have sunk even lower in my eyes. How could you say something like that to your ex-girlfriend? You are absolutely a pervert. A creep. Such a pervert." I waved my hands. "No, do not make things up. Do not slander me. Honestly." Song Yaozhi left with bread clenched between her teeth. She mumbled, "Ji Yanli, forget about this morning too." I felt a little helpless. Have I had a few too many things to forget lately? It was Friday. I wondered whether anyone had come to fix the air conditioner. It was already 10 when I got home from work. When Song Yaozhi saw me, I must have looked like a zombie. Song Yaozhi let out frightened shrieks, then quickly backed behind the curtains, hiding herself away. I collapsed straight onto the sofa. Song Yaozhi stared at the fallen figure, then recognized me. Coming to her senses, she called out, "Ji Yanli." I answered weakly. Song Yaozhi edged forward in tiny steps. Peeking out from behind the curtain, she asked, "What is wrong?" My face was buried in the sofa, my voice muffled. Overtime wore me out. It nearly killed me. Song Yaozhi let out a laugh. She sat beside me. "That tired, huh? Want me to give you a massage?" I jerked my head up. "You are being this nice. You are not going to charge me, are you?" My first thought was that Song Yaozhi was broke and trying to squeeze money out of me. Song Yaozhi huffed in great displeasure. "Do you really think I am that money hungry? The kind of woman who only thinks about money?" "Yes. No. I am not. You really will not charge me." "I will not. Since you have let me sleep in your room these past 2 days, and brought me food before, and gave me skincare products, I am feeling generous today. I will massage you for free." Oh, that is great. I truly appreciate it. Come on, let us move somewhere else. Go to the bed, and I will massage you there. This spot is really inconvenient." Song Yaozhi seemed to think it over for a moment. I was instantly energized. I sprang up from the sofa and lay down on the bed. Song Yaozhi came into the room too. She switched on the air conditioner first. Then, with a little grunt, she climbed onto the bed. She sat directly on my back, her hands braced against my back. She was not really thinking much of it. She only wanted to massage my back and ease my exhaustion, but I was overthinking it. It had been nothing at first, but the moment Song Yaozhi sat down, her delicate softness pressed against my back. Song Yaozhi said brightly, "All right, I am starting. How does it feel?" Song Yaozi's soft little hands kneaded my back, like a kitten kneading with its paws. She kept making heave-ho, heave-ho, as her own little sound effects. With my face buried down, I could not see her expression, but I could picture how cheerful she looked. How could she be this adorable? Did she have any idea how devastating she was? When it came to Song Yaozi's little gestures like this, I had no resistance at all. I buried my head completely. But Song Yaozhi had a tiny urge for revenge. "Serves you right for wronging me." Song Yaozhi tapped on my back, then asked sweetly, "Sir, how is it? Feel good?" I was already in heaven. It felt far better than good. It was pure bliss. Though Song Yaozhi was not very strong, being massaged like this felt unbelievably good. Song Yaozhi, meanwhile, had other thoughts. She found the contours of my suit across my back especially alluring. "What am I doing?" Song Yaozhi shook her head. "I am only giving Ji Yanli a massage." Still, she really did like how I looked in a suit. The crisp straight-cut trousers, my long legs, and every morning, in front of the mirror, the way I adjusted the buttons of my cuffs, I really did look handsome. She wanted me to hold her in my arms just like this. I had no idea what Song Yaozhi was thinking. I only knew that she was genuinely good at this. And it was not the first time she had massaged me. Song Yaozhi seemed especially fond of massaging my shoulders. Back at the cafe, when we sat together in a small private room, Song Yaozhi would massage my shoulders, easing my fatigue. Her fingertips were soft and light, and her hands were soft too. I really liked that feeling. It felt as if the whole day's exhaustion had vanished. Song Yaozhi gave a smug little laugh. I am amazing, aren't I? I am clearly this wonderful. Yet some people do not know how to appreciate it. Ji Yanli, go ahead and regret it. Let us see if you ever find a girlfriend as good as me. I argued back. How did I not appreciate you? I was not the one who ended things between us. Song Yaozhi lightly gritted her teeth. You did not say it, but it was your fault. We started bickering like elementary school kids. After a few jabs, we both found it pointless and fell silent. After a while, I asked, if you hate me so much, why are you still massaging me? Song Yaozhi thought to herself, I never said I hated you, but hating someone and continuing to maintain this relationship were two different things. As her right hand kneaded my neck, she said, I am just repaying what I owe you. I hate owing people favors, but I did not really like hearing that. Favors. Everything was a favor. That was one thing between strangers. But saying that between people close to each other only made us feel distant. Were we really so distant that we had to keep precise score of everything? Could those things even be counted so clearly? I said, I see. Then you have more or less repaid it. That is enough. Thank you. I am going to take a shower. Song Yaozhi did not understand why my tone had suddenly turned so much colder. Pouting, she climbed off me. What is that about? I was kindly giving you a massage. And that is the tone you use with me. No, good deed goes unpunished. I rolled over and sat up, looking at Song Yaozhi on the bed. Our faces were very close. I studied her face. Her little mouth was puckered into an upside-down V. She lifted her chin and said, what, got a problem? I stared at her and asked, I have been meaning to ask. Why do you always talk about repaying favors to me? Song Yaozhi did not understand the question. A favor is a favor, but it makes us sound so distant. We used to be a couple. Then I felt like I was making too much of it. I waved it off. Forget it. It is all in the past anyway. I turned and opened my suitcase, then abruptly turned back and said, go outside first. I need to get some clean clothes. Song Yaozhi walked out with a sullen face. A blast of hot air rushed in, and the coolness vanished instantly. It is really hot outside. That heartless Ji Yanli. What did he mean by that? But even couples should keep some boundaries, or he might end up disliking me. Though it seemed he already disliked me. I opened the door and came out carrying my clean clothes. Go rest inside. Song Yaozhi did not answer. She tossed her head and walked inside. That night, Song Yaozhi lay on the bed, while I lay on the cool mat. I called to her. You absolutely cannot fall off again tonight. Song Yaozhi suddenly sat up and said, I have a brilliant idea. Tilting my head, I looked at her and asked, what idea? Song Yaozhi raised one finger and said, you can just tie me up. Then I definitely will not move around at night. I tilted my head. What kind of brilliant idea was that? Are you serious? But Song Yaozhi swiftly flipped off the bed, like a gymnast, and landed perfectly. Then she flung open the door and raced into her own room. There came the sound of her rummaging through things, with loud clatters and bangs. I did not dare imagine what Song Yaozhi's room looked like now. Song Yaozhi soon rushed back, holding several cloth straps. I had no idea where they came from. They looked like they had been taken from some clothing. She beckoned to me, so I stood up. Song Yaozhi put the straps in my hand and said, tie me up. I wanted to ask if she was serious, but seeing the look in Song Yaozhi's eyes, I could not bring myself to refuse. Song Yaozhi lay down on the bed, her white dress spread across the bed, revealing her fair knees and calves. Her small, pale hands were held together and gestured to me. Come on. I gave a light cough, then climbed onto the bed too, and moved beside Song Yaozhi's legs. Then I will tie you up. Do you really want me to tie you up? The atmosphere felt really strange. Calm down, Ji Yanli. We are only doing something normal. There is nothing weird about it. Was this really normal? Normal. It was only to stop Song Yaozhi from falling out of bed again tonight. Song Yaozhi nodded. MMHM. Try it first. I looked at Song Yaozhi's fair feet, then slowly reached out. I took hold of one ankle. Song Yaozhi's face instantly turned red. She let out a soft moan. She sat upright and cried out in a fluster. Ji Yanli, what are you doing? What a pervert. He actually touched my ankle. It tickles. Equally flustered, I explained. I am tying you up, aren't I? Song Yaozhi looked at me skeptically, the blush still lingering on her face. You call that tying me up? You do not need to keep holding my foot to tie me up. I turned my head and replied, I need to hold it still. Do I not? Oh, I see. Song Yaozhi felt that my explanation did make some sense. Yet something about it still seemed off. She only nodded, her voice growing softer as she said, then be gentle. I threaded a cloth strap around Song Yaozhi's ankle, then brought her feet together. My technique was textbook. First, I looped the strap around one foot, without tying it too tight. If it was too tight, it could affect her circulation, which would be harmful. Finally, I secured both ankles together. That way, without binding her too tightly, I still limited Song Yaozhi's movements. Song Yaozhi watched me work, my movements gentle, focused, and careful. Her cheeks began to feel warm. Once I was done, she wiggled her feet and could not help saying, you seem pretty good at this. I said, thanks. Song Yaozhi eyed me warily. That was not a compliment. You are too good at this. It is actually a little scary. You did not secretly learn this before, did you? I answered without hesitation. No, absolutely not. No way. Song Yaozhi covered herself with both hands and scooted back. Did you secretly learn it while we were dating? You actually had such perverted thoughts? That is terrifying. To defend my innocence, I said with a straight face. It is just something I learned from wilderness survival tutorials. You are overthinking it. I slowly moved up beside Song Yaozhi's upper body. All right, hold out both hands. Song Yaozhi turned her head away, muttering under her breath. Wilderness survival training? I do not believe you. Again, I skillfully brought Song Yaozhi's two hands together. They're all done. I looked at Song Yaozhi. Her arms and legs were tied, her body slightly curled, her face flushed pink. A strange feeling rose inside me, especially the mist of tears and helpless confusion in Song Yaozhi's beautiful almond-shaped eyes. Wait, I slapped my forehead. Before I lost my head, I switched off the light, then climbed down from the bed. Sleep? Darkness fell before Song Yaozhi's eyes. She gave one hand a tug. In the darkness, she slowly made out her own hands, tied together. Honestly, he tied them so well. It is hard not to suspect you have a side job. Watching me tie her up so gently and carefully, Song Yaozhi did not find it unpleasant. Instead, she wanted to keep looking at my profile like this. Other images slowly began